Hey everyone out there on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. This is Chris McKee with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. Today we are bringing you a buyer's guide of the top 5 mistakes people make when buying their first guitar. These are common mistakes that I have seen people make time and time again, and we're hoping by watching this video you will not repeat these mistakes and get the first guitar that will serve you well for years to come. So let's get started with number 1. So the number 1 mistake people make when buying their first guitar is purchasing the wrong type of guitar. Now this is something that we have covered in other videos, but so watch those to be kind of more in depth, where we discuss should you get an acoustic or electric guitar. But generally speaking, you want to make sure that the first guitar you're buying is the right type of guitar. And if I boil it down to a simple fact, it comes down to motivation. Now some people might have an opinion and tell you that you should get a classical guitar first because that's the proper way of learning and you have the posture and you learn everything the right way. But if you are preoccupied with learning how to play Eruption by Van Halen, then a classical guitar initially isn't going to serve you very well. And what we want to do is avoid the common issue where people buy a guitar and then don't continue with the guitar and never really learn the instrument that they have wanted to learn for so long. And it usually starts with getting the wrong type of guitar. If you start with the wrong one, then your motivation quickly dissipates because you're not learning the things that initially drove you to buy the instrument to begin with. So decide initially: acoustic, electric, classical, or bass. What is it you really want to learn? And start with that instrument. That is the first thing that you have to do right. It'll get you off on the right path. Let's take a look at the next one. Number 2. Make sure you get the right size of guitar. So in my hand I have 2 steel string acoustic guitars from Yamaha, and they are vastly different sizes, and this is to prove the point. We don't simply mean the difference between getting something like a 3/4 size guitar and a full size acoustic guitar, which can also happen in electric guitars as well. But in addition to that, the body size you get, this Dreadnought for instance can be pretty big for certain people, difficult to get your arm around, cumbersome to sit down and play, and so a smaller body guitar might suit you better. Or a small body guitar might seem too small for you or not give you the sound that you want, in which case you probably need a bigger body guitar like this Yamaha. So what you don't want to do is just choose a guitar at random and go, sure, that looks like an acoustic guitar or that looks like an electric guitar, I guess that will work. Make sure that you're getting the size that best suits you. And this is really important for parents. If you're buying a guitar for your child, particularly a smaller child, know that there are guitars, particularly classical guitars, that are available in quarter, half, 3/4, and full size sizes. There are also electric guitars that are available, and full-size acoustic guitars are available or in either 3/4 size or shorter scale design models that will better suit someone depending upon your height and stature. So definitely want to pay attention to that, because what you don't want to have happen is to be uncomfortable while you're trying to play your instrument. It will discourage you and prevent you from excelling at learning your instrument. Number 3. Not spending enough money on your first guitar. Now what I have in my lap right here is a Fender FA100. This guitar retails for under $150 with a bag. It is an inexpensive guitar, and I'm utilizing this not to say it's a bad instrument, but it is a very inexpensive instrument that for many people may not serve you very well, but it actually is here as a representation, because there are guitars that cost less than this that you can readily find available on the internet through sites like Amazon or through various department and superstores, and they are what I like to call GSOs. They're guitar-shaped objects. And what will happen is if you buy too inexpensive of a guitar is that it won't stay in tune. The strings will be too high up off the fretboard. The sides of the frets will be sharp. It will sound terrible. It will probably start to come apart. It will have the wrong strings on it. The tuning machines will not tune properly. They will either get caught when you try to tune it because the gears are not properly put together. They might even back off when you get it to tension because they are not designed to hold the tension that's necessary for the strings. When people bring in guitars from us that they have purchased from a mega retailer online, and it's a classical guitar with steel strings on it pulling the bridge off the top of the guitar, but they got it for 60 bucks, That's just a waste of money. And so what you want to make sure that you do is that you spend enough money to get a good quality instrument, because the opposite of the things I mentioned, which would be good action, good height of the strings in other words, a comfortable neck without sharp frets cutting into your palm while you play, tuning machines that are going to make sure that you can properly tune the instrument easily and that it will stay in tune, along with a properly cut nut, and preferably something with a solid top on it. Those things will ensure that you get a good quality instrument that sounds good, that plays well, and that will encourage you while you play. Your instrument should be an asset to your learning, not a hindrance to your learning. So make sure that you spend enough. Number 4, spending too much money on your first guitar. Now, if you have the means and you want to go out and buy an expensive guitar like this Martin 00028 that I'm holding in my lap, well, you might be tempted to do so. And there's nothing wrong with that, because what you're going to do is you're going to end up with a guitar that sounds fantastic, plays really well, and can be a quality guitar for many, many years to come, and something you can even pass on. The caveat is this: if you're starting out, more than likely you don't really know yet what you like. You don't know what kind of neck shape you like. You don't know what kind of body shape you like. And for an acoustic guitar specifically, and for electric guitar in some respects, you don't know what tone wood you prefer or the tone in general. So on an acoustic guitar, the woods that make up the top, back, and sides greatly affect the sound of the guitar. And as you begin to play, your ear will develop preferences. You might like more bass, or you might like more treble, whatnot. On an electric guitar, it comes down to the pickups that are on there, the scale length of the guitar, the bridge design that's on the guitar, all of these little things that really inform the design of the guitar. So if you, right out of the gate, spend several $1,000s on a really good quality guitar, you're going to end up with a fantastic guitar that in a year or two, if you stick with it, you may not really like all that much, which ends up being on the used market, and then you end up getting something else. So it's best to just wait, really understand what your preferences are, and then spend that money so that you get an instrument that you're going to enjoy for a lifetime. Okay, so the next thing is not a guitar. The biggest mistake, number 5, that people make when buying a new guitar is only buying the guitar, when you really should also be looking at certain accessories. So I've got a few here in my hands to illustrate the point. A tuner. If your guitar doesn't have one built in, you definitely need to get a tuner. So if it's not an acoustic electric guitar, if it's an electric guitar, there aren't very many that have one built in, you want to get a tuner. Now you can get a very inexpensive clip-on tuner like the Snark that you can tune in loud environments at home, which is really handy. There's a variety of them that are out there, but you want to make sure that you have a tuner. You might want to get a capo. These are fun to play with. You clamp down on the strings and it changes the key that you're playing in. Polish cloths, picks, guitar case or gig bag, stand. These are basic things that you as a guitar player should have. They help you in playing, taking care of your instrument, and making sure that you can tune it up to the proper pitch when you're going to practice the song that you're going to be playing. And so there's certain accoutrements, there are certain accessories that you kind of need when you're buying a guitar. Now, if you're buying your first guitar and you're looking at a guitar pack, there are many of these accessories like extra strings, picks, straps, and maybe a gig bag often come in these kits. But even outside of those, if you're buying a guitar that doesn't come with those accessories, these are pretty inexpensive accessories that make a world of difference to your comfort, the ability to, like I said, properly play the instrument, have the things you need like a pick, and to protect it and take care of it going forward. So don't skimp on the accessories and don't think you'll get them later. Get them when you buy the instrument. It's very important and it will save you money in the long run. Trust me. Now we've got one more, a bonus item for you. All right, so our 6th point, a bonus item for you on this video, is to make sure that you have a plan. This kind of goes to the very first point we had at the beginning of the video of figuring out which guitar would be the right one to play based upon what you are motivated to learn. If you know that, and now you have the instrument and you have the accessories, don't make the mistake of thinking, well, I'll just go on YouTube and randomly look things up. The biggest reason people do not continue practicing and learning the instrument is because they are lost as to where to learn it, what books to get, which lessons to take, should I take one in store, should I take it online? The answer to all of that is yes. Okay? It really comes down to what works for you. And thankfully, we are in a bit of a renaissance when it comes to learning musical instruments. There are videos on YouTube from individuals that teach all manner of stuff, both free and paid subscriptions. You can go through websites like fenderplay.com where you can subscribe and get beginner lessons to get you off on the right foot. There's TrueFire and all of that stuff. There are great books out there. There are great DVDs. And there's fantastic musical stores like ours, which is a brick and mortar store that you can go in and you can sit with an instructor who's going to tell you, yeah, you're kind of getting that, but you have some bad form, or try this, or did you think of this? By having a plan at the start, you will more likely ensure your success at learning your instrument. The education that goes along with your purchase is of the utmost importance. And so make sure that before you buy that instrument that you are ready to commit to whatever avenue of lessons you are going to take to ensure that you play that and really get the most out of it. What I don't want to see is a year from now you have a guitar that you bought and you really haven't done anything with it and you're saddened by that. I'd be sad too. We want you to learn to play, and so follow this guide, follow these tips, make sure that you get the right guitar and you get started on the right path for you. Now, if you have more questions about buying that first guitar or maybe that second or 13th guitar, then check this out. Hey, thanks so much for watching the videos we put out on YouTube. We make these with the goal of helping you find the right instrument to suit your needs, to find the perfect fit so that you find the right guitar and bring many years of joy. We believe strongly that if you play a note, it can change your life. But if you're shopping for a guitar right now, you may be overwhelmed by the amount of choices that are available. Should you get an acoustic guitar, an electric guitar, a classical guitar? Which features matter? Price points, things like that. It can be overwhelming. And for that reason, I've written a guitar buyer's guide called Don't Get a Good Deal on the Wrong Guitar. Follow the link below to download this very comprehensive guide that will talk about every aspect that you should be paying attention to when it comes to purchasing a new guitar. If you ever have questions or need help, go to our website, alamomusic.com. We're here to help. Thanks.